Hi everybody, it's Gene Stafford from Ground Zero Entertainment. On the internet, I'm groundzeroparty.com, gzpaudio.com, laughlandj.com, and djlaughlin.com. So, hey, it is what it is. I've been wanting to do a kind of a helpful video like Jonathan and Brian do, and the one thing I want to address today is tools. Tools that you need to do your job out on a gig and to handle emergencies, things that come up, or if you have to tie into a house system, have some adapters. And it doesn't take a whole bunch, but you want to be prepared to be able to take care of problems when you're out on a gig. So I'm going to show you my toolbox and some of the stuff that I carry with me to all my gigs. The one thing I do carry, this is a very good meter. This is a Fluke, and this is a very expensive one. But I do a lot of electronic work, and this one's probably about 12 years old. But this is like a $250 meter. You don't need one of those because a meter is a meter. You can buy an inexpensive one, but it's a good idea to carry a meter with you. Here's another handy item. This one is also made by Fluke. You can find these pretty inexpensive now, not necessarily by Fluke, but it senses power and it glows red. So if you happen to be got a piece of gear that's not working, you want to make sure you got power to it, that's a great way. And literally any power cord, electrical outlet, if you're not getting power, you can just put that puppy up there and find out whether you need to call the house electrician to throw a breaker for you. Great item to carry with you. Runs on little batteries. I've never changed the batteries on that thing, and that's about 6 years old. Another electrical item I carry is this one. Plugs into any Edison outlet, and it tells you if the outlet's wired correctly. And it's got LEDs on it, and according to that, it's got a little troubleshooting chart on top. This saved me one time. I was doing a gig on a houseboat. I decided to plug this in first, and lo and behold, the ground and neutral were reversed, and that could have burned up my gear. It'll also tell you if you got a ground problem. Real inexpensive item, and it's always good to check. And the thing about having a meter, sometimes you're in these venues, you get a lot of beer boxes, the bars, everything's on one circuit, and you might get a wine or something, but you might get low voltage too. So some of the other things I carry with me: wrenches that I might need, screwdrivers, good sharp knife, make sure you got extra blades, very handy. Any hex wrenches that you need. This particular one is the one I use for my truss system. I actually carry a couple extra bolts for my scanners, extra nuts and bolts. Here's a handy item, a Neutrik speak-on to speak-on adapter. Can really be a lifesaver when you need 5 extra feet of cable. You can take another cable and extend that. It is 4-pole. I use 4-wire on my speak-on cables. Not expensive, but a real good lifesaver. Another low-tech item that I built myself. Sometimes you got a long speaker run. Low-tech way, I got some really great extension cords. I have a 100-footer that's actually number 10 wire and a 50-footer that's number 12. It's basically Edison on each end and 1/4 inch on the other. And on my speakers I put 1/4 inch jacks in them as well, and I also have it labeled no power. So you want to, for less than 15 bucks you can, I've used it twice. It's not a great way of doing it, but when you need a long cable run, that can really save you. Some of the other things I carry in my toolbox: carry a tape measure. Going through a door, you not make sure your gear's going to fit through. Also, I've got a light bar that I always knock my tree out of adjustment, so it's easier to measure the space once than holding the light bar up there and fussing with it. Carry a torpedo level to make sure my pipe and drape is level. A couple rolls of E-tape are down here. Zip ties, they are your best friend sometimes. They're like the gaff tape of the electrical world. Also get yourself some adapters. Get a couple of lifters. You might be tying into a house system. Ground is not right. Things might not be in phase. Get you a phase lifter. Got a phase lifter in here somewhere. There it is. There's my phase lifter. Um, Another little screwdriver down there that's interchangeable. Carrying my fingerless gloves. Here's all my mini drivers, an extra flashlight, some hemostats. Over here are some extra cables and adapters that I might need in case I got to tie into something else. You just never know. This bag is all my extra nuts and bolts and also my safety cables. So I also carry sometimes a cordless drill. Got Ryobi I bought just for the business to carry with me, so I don't have to take my real expensive Makitas. You know, I've got a couple Makitas. And the thing about tools, you don't really need to spend a lot of money. Go to a pawn shop, find tools at a pawn shop that they always got, you know, hundreds of sockets and wrenches and screwdrivers and knives and that sort of thing. Or if you buy new tools for your house. Take your old tools and put them in your DJ box. That's another good thing. I mean, if I had my choice, that box behind me right there, I'd be taking it to gigs, but you can't take all that stuff with you. The other thing is, if you don't have the luxury of having a garage like I do, you're in an apartment, set aside a little area, get yourself a little table, set you up a little workbench, get yourself a soldering iron, a few tools. Make your own cables. Learn how to do it yourself. Repair cables. It's not rocket science. All the information's out there on the internet. How to wire up, like, you know, mic cables, you know, XLR cables and speak-on cables, quarter-inch cables, and learn how to do it yourself. Because if you have to buy new cables all the time or have someone else repair them, you're taking profit out of your business. And it's good to know. And you can make custom cables for yourself. It's nice having custom length XLR cables for your racks. Find yourself an electrical supply company. I use KeySub out of Las Vegas. I buy all my cable ends from them. And sometimes I buy mic cable from them. But you can buy 4-conductor cable or 2-conductor cable at any home center. I use 4-conductor cable for my speak-ons because I pass my my subs through one pair, and then all my jacks are wired as pass-throughs, and then I run my mids and my highs on the other pair. So I'm only having to run one cable to each sub, and then I jumper from there. So the telephone's ringing, and as they say, practice and enjoy.